Look, let's talk about something that really does hurt and damage people rather than the feelings of the trans community. Let's talk about the aftermath of Cyclone Gabriel. And, of course, it's kind of out of the headlines now, but massive damage done there to all sorts of businesses, having an impact on you in terms of prices at the supermarket and the cost of living in New Zealand. But imagine being one of those businesses, farms, horticulturalists who've been hit by this. And imagine the scale of trying to get back to business or keep your business going. I think it's amazing. And I thought what we'd do this morning is we would take one business and we'd have a chat to them about what's happened to them and how they're dealing with things. Redbank Sellers makes wine. And much of that wine is sourced from grapes from the Hawke's Bay, and they've got infrastructure there. And they've been hit. So we are joined this morning to discuss how they've been hit and how they carry on by Kate Redbone from Redbank Sellers. Kate, welcome to the platform. Thank you very much indeed for joining us.
Good morning. That's my pleasure.
Kate, firstly, tell us about the business, what you do and where you are at in the development of your business, how big you are, and how things were working before Gabrielle.
Surely. Well, we're a small family winery. We established ourselves about 5.5 years ago, and we are just concentrating on very, very small volumes of ultra premium wine, and we're focusing on what we believe are the wine styles that Hawke's Bay grows best, which is Chardonnay, Syrah, and a Merlot Cabernet blend. And we're quite deliberately taking as much care and attention to detail as we can to produce what we hope are wonderful examples of Hawke's Bay wine that age beautifully over time. And that's really our focus. So a new business, it's been very exciting, and we've certainly had a huge hurdle put in front of us at the moment.
Okay, where is most of the business physically based, Kate? Where do you get your grapes from? Where do you store your wine? Where do you make your wine?
Yeah. So the winery is in Bayview, which is just when you come from Taupo through into Hawke's Bay, just through past the East Valley, and then we come to Bayview. Yeah. And we source fruit from strategic locations in Hawke's Bay, Mangatahi, the Bridgepar Triangle, and the Gimlet Gravels. And we purchase fruit from growers, and then we process the wine at the winery in Bayview. And at the winery in Bayview, we're able to host our direct customers, which is something that we really love doing and pride ourselves in doing well. And so we store stock on site at the winery, and then we also have, fortunately, the majority of our stock is externally warehoused in Hastings.
Yeah. Okay, what happened to you physically to your plant and equipment and your stock in Gabrielle?
Yeah. So, obviously, Gabrielle hit on the Monday night, Tuesday morning, and we didn't get access to the winery until Friday, and that was because we had bridges down between, I live in Havelock North, down between Hastings and Napier. So we got through to the winery on Friday, and a lot of the water had subsided, but we were knee deep in silt throughout the winery and the surrounding grounds. We couldn't have access to the grounds because the silt was too wet and too slushy. So no vehicle access, but it was pretty devastating.
Okay. So what have you done since? And have you assessed the damage in dollar terms and in production terms?
So, first and foremost for us, in Hawke's Bay, where the 2023 vintage has just begun, and we're not able to produce the 23 vintage because the winery just isn't fit to do that. So first of all, we had to remove all the silt from the winery and the surrounding processing area. We've had extensive damage to our stock, to our packaging, to basically just everything that was on site. We have barrels that had been submerged in flood water. So it's a huge process with the insurance company, and we're working very closely with them at the moment, and assessing, salvaging what we can and going from there.
Kate, I know it sounds a tough question. This sounds devastating, what's happened to you. Can you, and no vintage this year, and you're a company you told me about making vintage wine, making really good wine. You must have had times, or you must still have times where you say, can we carry on, or is this bust?
So we most definitely intend to carry on. Look, we're taking huge stock at the moment to assess what is our best path forward. We are fortunate that we have stock warehouse in Hastings, so we're able to supply our online orders, which are very, very important to us at the moment, as you can imagine.
Yeah.
And we're working with some other wineries that have also been affected to potentially jointly have some form of cellar presence in the interim, and looking at what our options are going forward.
Right. In terms of repairing the facilities there, how long is that going to take? And repairing, I guess, the access to your facilities as well.
I actually don't know the answer to that. So what's happened with the winery at the moment, all the internal panelling and the entire laboratory, our offices, all of that has been removed to dry out.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure how long that's going to be for. It's most likely going to be weeks, and then that will be repaired. I think one of the things for us that's been a massive task cleaning up, and one of the things that we're very conscious of is that, we need to ensure that, and I'm not sure how it can be done, that it doesn't happen again.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear that, Kate. Kate, how many staff have you got? How many people affected, or, reliant on your business for their livelihood?
Sure. Well, we're very small. There are 3 of us here in Hawke's Bay, and we have our sales manager is based in Auckland.
Yeah, okay.
Just the 4 of us.
Yep.
Yeah, we're a very tight, small team.
Yeah, and I guess that's a blessing, actually, at a time like this, isn't it? Have there been any impediments to your recovery? How have the insurers been? How have local bodies been, emergency services been in the wake of all this?
I think we have been absolutely astounded by the help we've had from the local community. When we started the clean-up, we had people, coming from off the street asking if they could help. One morning we arrived at the winery and somebody had brought a digger and a team of people to help remove the silt, in the driveway and on the grounds, which was just phenomenal. We hadn't asked for that, and it was incredible. We were without power and water for quite some time, and so we ended up, we had petrol-operated pumps. We had to bring water to the winery so that we could start the clean-up, and there was just that side of it. I felt we were very well supported, and probably going forward, one of the biggest things for us is, as you can imagine, when we find a new place to operate from, being able to... So you're not thinking about
going back to the way you were, or do you just think that's impractical in the medium term?
No, we just don't know. We can't be there at the moment, so we feel we need to have a presence somewhere.
Yeah.
And whether we do it ourselves or collectively with some other wineries, we're not clear on that. One of our wineries here in Hawke's Bay has offered us some space at their facility, which is marvellous. And again, we're just working through. Everything at the moment is quite up in the air. We're trying to very clearly work out what our best way forward is. And part of that, you asked about, what could be impediments. We just hope that we will have sort of seamless transition as far as getting licences, etc., to sell wine, which I'm sure won't be a problem.
Right. You haven't been the subject of looting?
No, we haven't.
That's good.
Thankfully.
That is good to hear.
Yes, it is.
Kate, I got to say, you sound very chill about it.
Well, we have to be, and we have to make logical decisions going forward. We are. It's been huge for our business, and not to do vintages is significant.
Yeah, that's a big call for someone in the wine business.
We operate in the ultra premium segment, and to be true to the way we make wine, with the winery out of operation, we've had to, all our equipment has had to be, engineers have had to look at it, test it, make sure what we can and can't do, and we just felt we could not proceed doing vintage the way we needed to do it, and but we'll look forward to vintage 2024.
Yeah, and Kate, you live locally or not?
Yes, I do. I've lived in Hawke's Bay for 14
All right,
years.
and your home is okay?
Our home is in Havelock North, and we were absolutely fine. We've had friends who have lost everything, so we feel extremely fortunate on that front.
Look, I admire the fact you're still at it, and I wish you all the best, Kate. Thank you also for giving us an insight at an individual level as to what a whole lot of people are coping with in their businesses in Hawke's Bay. That was really fascinating.
Look, thank you very much. That's been my pleasure.
Thanks. Kate Redbone from Redbank Sellers.